Hi Bio, it's Monday morning about 10 o'clock. It's been really cold at night, and but right now I don't have my shirt on. It's so warm right here. This is I hiked in it's about 4 miles through some old growth forest to this point, and the weather is just incredible. The ocean is like a lake, just calm. Anyway, I wanted to give you a little voiceover here. I got your message yesterday, Sunday. I wanted to say a few things. Basically, this part of our life started with what I call the Last Supper, and that was at the Breese's house with Josie and Ivory, where, unbeknownst to Ivory and I, that was our Last Supper with our women. Josie proceeded to send Ivory to Vegas, and you sent me back home. I need to be really straightforward here, because what's been going on isn't a mystery. So I know that you stopped the work on the Dr. Jardin websites because you were worried that I would in some way sabotage them. I know that the thing with Josie was, you guys were sending your men off so Josie could move and you could make room for other guys. I know your plan B was already in place. It was just a matter of activating it, and Josie was very supportive for doing that. The purpose for you bringing me down or asking me to come down to Tijuana wasn't for me to test me or to approve me. You'd already done that. The purpose was in letting Josie know, and your new friend, your new American friend, that you took action to move me out of your life. So there wasn't any question on their parts, about the influence I would have in the future over you. You steadily decrease the phone calls, the Skypey, the texting on the phone, until, it was virtually nothing, which started last Sunday. And I knew last Sunday, the Sunday before last, after your Mexicali thing was pretty much it. You let me know that you had all your bases covered. And I know you've been seeing your American guy since the day I left, since August 16th. And now you're definitely seeing him on a regular basis, I think every other weekend. But you covered, you had your plan B and you activated it. And along the way, there's been plenty of indications, and you left breadcrumbs along the trail. It wasn't, I didn't have to be, I could be blind and see what was going on. So it isn't, when you tell me you're worried about me, it's not that. You're worried about you. You're worried about, what's Harry doing that I could affect you and your plans and your relationship and your life. And I don't, for a moment, feel that you are concerned about what's happening with me, other than how it can affect your life in some negative way. So, that's not going to happen. Of course, you've said often I'm naive and gullible, and that's true. But I'm 60 years old. I've been in these rodeos before. I know which way I'm pushing my rudder for the direction I want to go. I can be fooled, of course, but I'm not unknowing about what's going on. So I think the best thing is at this point, I feel like you are safe. My main concern was that you were safe. This time last year in August, it was real clear to me that we had entered what I would say is a damaging codependency, where you had no other relationships, no friendships, no money, no nothing. I was everything. And I, in turn, had given everything. So we had a codependency that was beautiful, because I believe we loved each other dearly. But in the process, you had no other choices but me, and I had enabled that. I had encouraged that because I love you and I wanted to be with you. But in the process, I used all of my resources, financial assets, relationships, and we weren't functioning. So I set out on a path, and I recommended it to you, in fact, enforced it, that you would become interdependent. You would have more friends, men and otherwise. And I hated it. It was like, I hated it, but it had to happen. And you had to believe that no matter what you did, I loved you. And no matter what the circumstances were, I wouldn't abandon you, and I loved you. But at the same time, I knew my only hope was to pull off another dream talk thing, which was Australia. And you had inserted in me the belief that maybe that wasn't going to happen, because it can't happen. But I had to try, because it would produce the income, the money, so that we could go back to basically a codependency where I could take care of you. But it didn't happen. And so in March of this year, you were steadily growing your relationships, and you met Josie, and she provided you a new mentorship, new approvals, and you met the Americans, because that's what you wanted, was a white guys, white Americans, and it grew from there, and it became your plan B. So at this stage, your contacting me doesn't have anything to do with your concern for me. Maybe as a memory, a good memory, but what happens to me is not going to affect your day. 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now, I won't even be a memory. As far as the rest of it goes, where Josie is concerned, Josie is not somebody I would ever personally be connected to. We're just way, way different, and she's a 60s person, and her solutions are going to come out of the 60s. With regard to your friends, your relationships with the men out of America, I have no clue what's in your mind, but you've stated it clearly in the past that if you could find someone that didn't disgust you, then you had your financial needs met, your physical needs, your lovemaking needs, and possibly, marriage with citizenship. If that can become love, if you were fortunate enough to meet somebody, in June, that can be your love, not only your lover, but your love, then that's great. For me, I am not willing at this point to not see it for what it is. And I was a means to your end. I was a means to an end. I want to believe you loved me because my memories are so damn sweet. But at the same time, I have to recognize that you demanded a codependency. You wanted to be 100% dependent, and I wanted you to be dependent. I loved that. But it won't work. No two people can be codependent. And even on the marriage thing, when it came time to really be serious about that and you wanted an open marriage, of course. How can a person be 100% dependent on another person financially, for lovemaking, for for their clothes, their schooling, their relation. I mean, it's not reasonable. So my feeling is you've got to move it. You've got to continue to move ahead. You can't be worried about that I'm going to somehow negatively affect your movie, because I wouldn't do that. I do love you 100%, and I cannot love you in a codependency, because I'll never be able to completely take care of you. And is it seductive? Absolutely. But I can't. And for yourself, you've got to have interactive relationships. I mean, interdependent relationships. And if we're to see a day again where we can be together, it'll be because I have the ability to provide for you in the manner that is respectful and you're deserving. And you'll have the interdependencies, the relationships with men, with women, with work, with all the balancing that needs to happen. And you need to be able to be in a relationship with me, your lover, your husband, your friend, and have male friends. And you need to have those freedoms. It's necessary. And I need to provide without making you be everything, because I can't. It's not healthy. So I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Josie is whatever. If it gives you strength and she's your friend, that's good. With your new relationships, your man relationships, intimacy, all that, I mean, you have to do what works for you, that makes you feel whole, that makes you feel like you're safe and does what you need it to do. Where I'm concerned, I am 100% behind you, for you, supporting you. But when you communicate with me, if you need love, I'm here 24/7 every day, wherever I am. But just to check up, I can't. It's not worth it, because you don't need to do that. You can rest assured that no matter what state I'm in, it's not going to be a state that's going to harm you or want any harm to you. And if you need love, if you are in a bad relationship, you have something bad happen, and you need to be loved, I'm here 100% for you. If you have something wonderful happen, and it's love that you want, I have no problem with that. But in the meantime, I have to make a living that is capable of supporting a woman like you in an interdependent relationship, not a codependency. And if we're going to see time together again, then it will be because you have choice, 24/7 choice. And you're a free woman, and you have your own things, and you have the choice of where you're going to spend your time. And you can be taken care of. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. I miss you. Every day is just pure pain. Just pure pain. And I know it has to do with the codependency, because it was so beautiful. Coming home to you, and you're cooking and lovemaking and going out to the mall, and I mean, every part of it, Gino, every part of it was just totally seductive, and I loved it. But it's not real. You got to be your own woman, and I have to provide. I have to be able to provide. And if I had it to do over again, I would do it much differently, because I would have done it in a manner that was sustainable, so that I encouraged you to, with your friendships and with your nursing, and I kept the money coming in and loved you. I mean, I would change it. But believing that I could come home, we could just hang out together 24/7, nobody is that good. Nobody's God. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. But when you want to communicate with me, if you need love, I'm there. But anything else, it's not necessary. Nor do I want it, because you don't have to check in or check me to find out if there's something that I'm cooking up that's going to harm you or not be positive in your world, because it's not going to happen. No matter what you choose your outcome to be from this point. Okay, Beal, I'm gonna sign off. I love you tons, and I wish you everything necessary to be interdependent with your relationships. And I hope someday we're able to hook up again on any level. But when we do, that we're interdependent, we're not codependent. See ya. Love ya. Bye-bye.